you.
It's exciting.
I'm so glad to see you. Thank you for coming.
You know, it's hard for me to do things at night in the city, but Jake is here, so he's been bringing
Yeah?
us.
Okay.
Yeah, he's here.
You
You can't
didn't,
drive at night, so that's the problem. What?
you didn't get to see the...
I didn't see
Would
any.
you like to see the exhibit?
We just did.
Are you there?
Hola, Ana.
Es un absurdo para que venga.
Sí, perdón, Jordana.
José Luis lo ha
Sí,
dicho.
acabamos de
Ponemos la foto de la gente.
Ya, perfecto. Sí, hay otra cosa que está llegando.
Sí.
Bueno, sí,
Sí,
es un poquito más
En
aquí.
unos 15 minutos.
Pero tenemos que pedir disculpas porque a las 7 tenemos que salir y no querríamos dar ninguna mala impresión.
Te entiendo.
Sabe que no queremos, por si acaso, yo no sé lo que estará pasando a las 7, que si nos levantamos, pero no pasa, no significa
Ya,
nada.
entonces no lo
Es
voy
una
a tomar a
Exacto,
personal,
exacto.
que yo estoy hablando y tú te vas.
Exacto. Porque estamos muy contentos de estar aquí.
Can we see these things quickly? Like, can I leave my bag here?
Yes.
Okay, leave this.
We'll save your spot.
Yeah. I have a third coming, if you don't mind.
Okay.
She has a...
Here, we'll do this. There.
Oh, thank you.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Yeah, that was a
Harrsch, encantado. Yes, yes, yes.
No, it's not my taste.
Ya no podemos decir que es quedado muy bonito ese que se arranca la identidad.
You know, and Adriana was there.
Muy bien, ¿qué tal?
We don't really know each other. Oh yeah, she was like,
Inauguramos la misma through Saturday because I have a birthday party Saturday night. I was Brandon. I was planning to go there on Sunday.
oh, he just wrote to us.
She was also well. She was also thinking about coming down and seeing her friend in Port Jefferson. She works Saturday night. Sunday. She's deciding whether to go for her work Halloween party.
Digamos, para la comunidad mexicana es el Times Square.
All the way up. Yeah, if I go there.
Puede ser, porque quien convoca es DOT, el gobierno de la ciudad. De ahí el curso. Latinos toman Times Square.
Well, maybe it's what I think. Or I think in the kind of like in respectful, like yeah, like respectful. So to me, that's like when I think of justice, like marriage.
You're balancing.
Yeah, like a favorite game.
Yeah.
Why?
Adaptar un poquito.
Yeah, it's that.
Yo también estoy integrando ahí programas. Yo
That's good to know.
Yeah, oh,
Because you're a bit you don't need to do because you don't need to do.
Yeah.
Look at what you all learned about.
you see some
It's a funny one though. I'd like to know that test. Yeah, right, yeah. I'm looking, you're giving me motivation to get further.
Emireth, you wanna sit? ¿Tú quieres sentarte donde?
Yeah, I met you recently.
¿Qué tal?
Qué guay. Yo soy la última, o sea que no sé si... Erika, yo soy la última, ¿tú te quieres poner? ¿Dónde te quieres poner?
Me da igual. Es por orden.
Ana, Erika, no puedo ir, a lo mejor. ¿Hablan todo español? A lo mejor pasamos a castellano.
Hay un streaming.
Bueno, haré my best.
Vale, vamos a hablarlo con vosotros.
¿Esto lo tomamos así? Imagino que sí. Gracias por venir. Thanks for coming. ¿Y cómo se quita?
¿Quieres ponerlo en mute?
Sí.
Se toca un botón abajo, una vez un botón, algo rojo se prende que está en mute.
Oye, ¿nos vamos para hablar? ¿Nos vamos a parar ahí?
Si tú quieres, sí. Me dijeron que...
Porque si todo el rato está encendido.
No, all the mics are on.
Pues eso es bien rápido.
There's no way to turn it.
I can turn them off.
There's no way to go on and off.
Eso es como 8.
No, I'll be turning them on and off. There you go, they're off now.
Bueno, pues voy a hacer lo mejor que puedo.
Sí, cada uno es suyo. No te preocupes.
No pasa nada.
Esto es New York.
¿Eh?
No hay problema, esto es Nueva York, cada uno habla su idioma.
Sí, no pasa nada. Porque, a ver, no me voy a expresar igual.
Pero si quieres ahora van analizando tus idiomas, ¿ya se le avisó? No va a haber traducción.
Buenas tardes. Hello, welcome to Institute of Cervantes, New York. Today we have the pleasure to present here a talk of a prolongation of the exhibition, the project Triad Dialog, with the three artists, Ana de Orbegoso, Yapci Ramos, and Erika Harrsch. And with we have today we are with Emireth Herrara Valdez, that is a Mexican curator and will be moderating the talk and the panel of today. This project was presented here in our gallery and is part of our cultural program, and is a dialogue between three artists about the origins, the roots of each one of the cultures. We are very happy to have you here, and we hope that we will have a very interesting talk today. Thank you.
Well, good evening. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to our artist talk about Triad Dialogue exhibition. For me, it's a pleasure to be with all of you, and thank you to the artists for inviting me to moderate this artist talk. We're very excited to have a deep exploration about the artworks of these artists, Ana de Orbegoso, Erika Harrsch, and Yapci Ramos. These women examine ancient mythologies of the Incas, Aztecs, and Guanches, reinterpreting their cultural legacies through a contemporary feminist lens. Tonight, these artists will talk about how their works explore ecofeminism. They also address historical exploitation of women and nature under patriarchal systems, and how they transform these narratives into spiritual journeys. These journeys connect past, present, and future. If you have had the opportunity to see the show, you can see that there's a beautiful flow within these works. You come and you see suddenly this beautiful sculpture by Yapci Ramos, that you can see that as soon as you get in, their scene sculpture illuminates, and then you go on and you can see how Ana de Orbegoso's installation. You can see how the sound is also connecting with yourself, but also with the video that you're talking, and then the photography that is there. It's also part of it, and then you move on and you see Erika Harrsch's sculptures and paintings that I think that all of these artists are also presenting themselves with this special maturity, and how they have this sharpness to present femininity, but also fertility that is conscious of itself. Ana de Orbegoso, Erika Harrsch, and Yapci Ramos each explore ecofeminism and their indigenous heritage through ancestral practices. This is key to understanding their multidisciplinary and sensory approach. This invites us to explore their cultural and personal histories while fostering a dialogue that transcends time and geography. In Ana de Orbegoso's video installation, Goddesses in Sorority is inspired by the feminine altar of Huarochirí, a 16th century chronicle. In this work, Orbegoso portrays the evolution of the female figure as a divine healer. These divine healers are capable of radiating security and balance between humanity, nature, and the cosmos. The altar functions as a bridge between the spiritual and earthly realms, and they link the soul with the material world. I love how this specific installation will also resonate with Erika Harrsch's and then with Yapci Ramos, which I believe this work by Yapci will kind of circle the exhibition at the end. The Healing Sisters, Yaxahuato and Mirahuato, they are part of how, and I quote the artist, knowing our past, owning our history, and ultimately rewriting the future. This theme will resonate throughout the exhibition. Erika Harrsch's The Forest of Probable Women present the sculptures and paintings that embody the transformative power of both women, and nature. Her works feel as if their materials themselves sought her out, resulting in sculptures that speak with a playful, erotic energy. Once we were talking, Erika and I remember I was talking about how she portrays a little bit of her memory, of her experience, and knowing her work from the past. I believe that this maturity of her as a person, as a woman, and as an artist, it also becomes much more spiritual. And when I see these sculptures, I can only think about how these materials found you, like how they say, like, here, please take me and make with me these beautiful sculptures that will also talk with these paintings. These pieces are alive with an instinctive sharpness, revealing themselves as intuitive and dynamic forms. In her paintings, Erika explores fertility in a personal way, presenting the female body in communion with natural elements. Here we see themes of nurturing, protection, and the cycles of life. It's through this intimate connection with nature that Harrsch expands on the idea of female body as a source of strength and life-giving energy. Finally, Yapci Ramos, in Transition, pays homage to the indigenous wisdom that closes this Triad exhibition with a powerful reflection of rebirth. Ramos' work brings the conversation full circle, inviting us to consider the interconnectedness of women, nature, and the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. It's a fitting conclusion to this dialogue of femininity and the reconnection with one's spiritual and natural roots. When we hear the Silvo Gomero, we can see how they were communicating this. It's an indigenous communication that comes through the mountains, and when the resin sculpture illuminates, you are completely feeling this transcending sound. At the center of the exhibition, we can see how the elements are invoked, the air, earth, and fire, and this piece stirs the senses and transports us into a meditative state, offering a visceral experience of transformation and renewal. Now I would love to invite another Orbegoso to start with your talk.
Do we have the tiki-tiki? Okay, great. Okay, now I can see better. Good afternoon, good night, everybody. Thank you for coming, really. I would like to thank the Instituto Cervantes for opening us their gallery and having us here having us in this exhibit, and also to curator Emireth Herrara for accompanying us in this transcendental trip. This exhibit is really a great opportunity for me to introduce my work to you. The recurring concepts in my work are gender and identity, existential, personal, social, cultural, historical. They are all connected. Identity through the use of popular iconography, symbols that belong to the collective memory. Together, they make up a body of work that deals with historical memory, with the recovery of a memory, both personal and that of a community. And all of them deal with bringing history into our daily lives. So why is it important for me to remember history? Why is it important for me to bring it into my life? Since our personalities are constructed mainly from our past, and our past is the vertebra of our identity, then without individual memory, we literally lose our identity. The way we perceive memories is how we construct our history and understand others. Collective memory is similar. Historical knowledge is no more and no less than carefully and critically constructed collective memory. Through my work, I have made it my personal quest to add to the collective memory of my community and my own. Okay, let's see. Yes. Ta-da. Okay. So, my sensorial landscape has been informed in great part by Peruvian traditional cultural values and aesthetics. Baroque colonial paintings are part of, of the iconography that was around me as a child growing up in Peru. I was fascinated and went ahead to work with them. They are historical objects, and most of them have Catholic images. Even though my approach was historical, I had to be very, very careful and very respectful. These images are venerated by millions, and religion is something you cannot take too lightly, and that's for sure. Something that I had noticed of these pieces was that they didn't talk about my culture. They were talking about an alien's culture. So how is it that they were part of our history if they didn't represent us? From the paintings, I decided to choose the ones that had the image of the Virgin, which represented female participation in history. With my urban virgins, I decided to reclaim these images for Peruvians. I didn't know I wanted to do a revision of history. But the moment I placed the face of an indigenous woman on top of the one of the Virgin, my heart really just stopped. The reclaim was going to be through feminine eyes, through women. That's how the urban virgins were born. Photos were made replacing the Occidental faces with actual Peruvians, and replacing the iconography, backgrounds, and symbols with the ones of Peruvian ancient civilizations. Ori Gonzalez, a Cusco poet, collaborated in this project, giving voice and daily life to the characters, writing poems in Spanish, English, and Quechua, which is the language of the Incas. This photo project is continuously being exhibited around Peru's different regions. Up to now, the urban virgins have visited more than 35 locations among cities and towns around Peru. Parallel to each exhibit, there is a performance of the virgins. Capes are worn by local artists, there, who walk around the streets of the towns and the archaeological sites, interacting with the population. This was my way to make sure that the virgins did not stay enclosed in a place of privilege, but are available to everyone. To this day, it's possible to the lights to turn off these lights?
Yeah.
How about that?
Would it be possible to dim these lights off or down?
I don't know, but there is the streaming too.
There's a streaming people are listening to you
Oh.
right now.
Kevin?
I think he's trying.
He's trying. He's still trying. 1 second. I need to move it. Okay.
Better?
You got better? Ta-da! Okay, plan B. No. Turn them off. Yeah, I'll just lead myself with the phone. Kevin? Yeah? Okay. So. So to this day, the urban virgins is. Now let's go back to yeah. To this day, the urban virgins is the most locally exhibited art project in Peru. So history was being reclaimed. And now we go to see. Ah, entiendo, tenemos que prender la luz. Ok. Sí, creo que vamos a tener que prender la luz, me parece. Si no... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, we'll do our best. So my reclamation of women in Peruvian history continued with my next project, The Last Inca Princess, an art video based on a 17th century painting which depicts the wedding of an Inca princess to a Spanish captain and the emergence of their daughter, who represents the mestizaje, the fusion of Spanish and indigenous people of America. This is the painting, the original painting where I was inspired to do this video. The wedding depicted in the painting was the culmination of one of the most terrible moments in Latin American history, the fall of the Inca Empire. This series of micro-stories explore the confrontation between two worlds, the imposition of one culture on the other, and race and gender over the other. Beatriz Clara Coya, the Inca princess, represents the indigenous woman who accepts her fate with pride and resignation, knowing that the only way left is resistance and the purpose to keep on transmitting generation to generation her legacy, memory, and identity. But not everything is left in defeat, actually. The mixed daughter of the conqueror and the princess personifies the modern, free woman, aware of her past and its roots, and able to decide her future. The video was a central part of a multidisciplinary installation at the Museo Pedro de Osma in Lima. After this show at the museum, I envisioned a new form of showing the video, actually at the Huacas, these ancient archaeological sites designed for rituals linking history to the community. I created a show that included the singer and the actress of the video doing a performance, and the video was projected directly on the structures of the site. Really being in one of these places is magical. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, continuing my exploration of history, for this exhibit I brought a female deity from Andean mythology from the Huarochirí manuscript. This is the only surviving written source that records the ancient spirituality and cosmovision of the indigenous Peruvians. It's a compendium of mythology unique in the heritage of this oral culture. Baptized as the Quechua sacred book, this text was written at the beginning of the 17th century, after the European invasion and during times of forced conversion, the evangelization. The recollection of the information around the indigenous people of ancient Peru was organized and written down by the Spanish priest Francisco de Avila. I'm going to pass some images that are actually from the exhibit. They don't necessarily have to do with what I'm reading right now. Also, I'm reading you a story, and this is the exhibit, let's say. This recollection was used as a guide to do an extirpation of idolatries, as the beliefs, the culture, and traditions of the indigenous people were considered pagan. What is amazing is that because it was written, it serves us now to reclaim memory. And that is really incredible. The female altar of Huarochirí appears as part of this manuscript. A group of female archetypes with deity qualities as creators, healers, wise women, protectors, priestesses. Each female deity in the manuscript speak of different aspects such as celestial creation, the genesis of the family, the mother-baby binomial, the importance of water, fertility, health, fecundity, wisdom, and offerings. The female altar of Huarochirí takes life through a collective project in which women artists, anthropologists, and academics specialized in the manuscript work together in an effort to rescue this treasure, adding to the collective memory of Latin America. In Goddesses in Sorority, as my work in the exhibit is called, I bring a goddess from this altar, the Healing Sisters, and they represent the integral energy of human beings and healing for the body, mind, and soul, health for the whole planet. They are a duality, united by the same energy. They live within each other, empowering each other. That is really incredible. And this really symbolizes for me the female sisterhood. Dressed as a mountain populated by medicinal plants, they carry a shipibo conibo, Kene design of the Amazon with a redemptive energy painted on the chest. They in the hand have a symbol, a shining savila, which is like a kind of an aloe vera, a plant of a healing force and protective energy that carries the principles that generate human harmony with the cosmos and nature. And this is the installation that you see upstairs. And this photo is from an offering to the Pachamama, an offering to the Mother Earth that was done in the exhibit in Lima last year, where all these people bring something to offer to the land, actually vegetables and fruits, and they use the coca leaves as a connection, really, to the energy of their gods. And so we're gonna do something more or less like this by the end of the exhibit on January the 15th. We're not gonna be able, sadly, to bring the coca leaves because. So, but we will have the energy of a shaman, and we will be all together. So, so yes, this is it. Okay, thank you. Probably if we change these lights for the others, so we still have the round that gives some light to us, and the ones that are focusing, shining the screen would be less. Hello? Okay, probably if we cut these lights and turn on the round on the back so we don't shine the screen and the image doesn't wash, just switch. And cut these ones probably. This white one strong, probably. Okay. Well. Okay.
Thank you for coming, everybody. I'm Erika Harrsch. I'm originally from Mexico. I'm an interdisciplinary artist, but I'm going to focus in what made me create what I create for this exhibition. Okay. I'm originally from Mexico, and I have spent the past 24 years living and working in New York. As a Mexican American, my practice reflects the experience of a transnational artist, someone who understands the challenges of establishing roots in a new place and redefining the meaning of home. Since the pandemic, I relocated my studio to the Hudson Valley, where I spend most of my time surrounded by the forest, and this environment has deeply influenced my work. My artistic voice is rooted in memories of growing between Mexico City and my family's cattle ranch and cacao plantation in the Soconusco region of Chiapas, a rainforest located near Mexico's southern border with Guatemala. During this time, my curiosity about Mesoamerican civilizations began to take shape. My background as a painter remains central to my practice, which is infused with layers of references and narratives addressing individual and cultural concerns. These concerns span critical social and environmental issues, and I explore them through various mediums, including painting, sculpture, photography, video, animation, installation, and interactive projects. My work is profoundly inspired by surrealism, childhood memories, and exploration of sexuality. These themes populate my imagery, often manifesting in dreamlike compositions and improbable objects that blend irony and humor. Recent works, such as my three-dimensional compositions and tree sculptures, embody my approach using atypical assemblages to reveal a rich and cultural vocabulary and historical layers. Environmental concerns and the ecological crisis have always been central to my work. I focus particularly on the interconnectedness of humans, animals, insects, plants, and microbiomes, with ecosystems that are constantly interacting. These elements are intertwined in a network of cause and effect, highlighting the delicate balance of nature. One of the central ideas in my work is the concept of the body as a map, a cartographic surface where memory and experience are deeply traced. I see the body and the landscape as an indissoluble equation, with topography often mirroring the human form, and the earth as woman. These ideas have developed into my ongoing project, The Forest of the Probable Women, which is based on multi-species theories that propose the need to reconfigure the relationship between humans and the earth. In this project, I transform individuals into symbionts. Oh, I think I'm going fast. Organisms living in mutual relationships to create a narrative that replaces the anthropocentric, human-centered supremacy over nature with an ethic of interspecies cooperations. For the last 2 years, I began an ethnohistorical research, a project on cacao, the food of the gods. Through this project, I explore its origins, rituals, uses, and symbolic roles in pre-Hispanic Mexico. I am particularly interested in the cacao diaspora and how it reframes narratives around colonization, immigration, trade, and the environment. My research questions representations of the pre-colonial past into the contemporary and feminine perspective. In this process, the tree emerged as a powerful symbol in my work, one that connects the ancient civilizations of Mexico. Well, okay. In this process, the tree emerged as a powerful symbol in my work, one that connects the ancient civilizations of Mexico with feminist environmental philosophies. Through my paintings and sculptures, I create a dialogue between these cultural legacies and contemporary concerns using surrealism to bridge history, mythology, and the present. The work Floresta Codex that I present for Triad Dialog stems from my ongoing research from the Cacao Multimedia Project and the series The Forest of the Probable Women. In Floresta Codex, I draw upon photographic representation in pre-Hispanic codexes or codices, which I have turned into painting and sculptures to create my own visual interpretations. These figures, which I call Las Mujeres Árbol, the women tree, explore the deep connection between the feminine and the natural world. In the Aztec worldview, trees were intimately connected to the human body. Branches were referred to as hands, treetops as hair, bark as skin, and wood as flesh. These metaphors deeply influence my process as I sculpt and I paint reclaimed wood from my forest in the Hudson Valley. By blending these ancient notions of feminine deities with sacred trees, I transform them into unexpected contemporary women, figures that are complete with high heels. These hybrid forms are crafted using both organic and inorganic materials, symbolizing a profound symbiosis between nature and the feminine. In Mesoamerican mythologies, trees play a fundamental role in maintaining cosmic balance. Terrestrial trees were seen as reflections of their cosmic counterparts, embodying the dual principles of light and dark, masculine and feminine, life and death. The ancient Mexicas believed that sacred trees ensure the continuity of life, with some trees representing deities of fertility, governing pleasure, love, flowers, beauty, and the natural world. These mythologies extended into the afterlife paradises. The destination paradise of the dead was believed to be shaped by how they died, with each paradise centered around a sacred tree. When children died prematurely or unborn, they went to the Chichihuaucualco, a paradise symbolized by a nursing tree whose breast-like leaves provided milk to nurture the children until their rebirth. These nurturing aspects were captured in the Nahuatl, the tongue of the Aztecs word chichi, which means breast. This painting is upstairs, so you can see it. In my painting, this landscape is framed by the volcanoes Popocatépetl and Iztaccíhuatl, which outline the agricultural valley of Aztlán, which is today Mexico City, figures that were prominent in my childhood memories. The metaphor of the tree is central to this project. For the Mexicas, the human torso was likened to a tree trunk, and parents were often symbolized as trees, offering shelter, stability, and growth. As a fragment of a poem said, a mother, a father, is as a foundation and covering shadow like the seal cotton tree. The belief that trees and plants had souls meant that cutting down a living tree was a serious offense, and that required community consent. The reverence for trees in these ancient cultures speak to the role as life givers and sacred entities. After the earth was destroyed by a flood, these deities, Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca, transformed into trees to hold up the sky. Sacred trees were seen as pillars at the four corners of the universe. In my sculpture, The Birth of Venus, which is seen now, the feet of the woman stretched towards the stars, evoking this connection between the divine, feminine, and the cosmos. In my work, I'm deeply drawn to speculative fantasies and explore how women are perceived and how they are viewed and how they view the world. I frequently represent women who are sexually empowered, embodying the fluid, dual nature of the goddess, strong, erotic, and deeply connected to nature and ancient mythologies. My hybrid forms, part human, part tree, suggest a feminine mystique rooted in nature and myth. These chimeric figures seduce through their surreal, historic, and erotic references, offering a portal to female desire and freedom. Thank you.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Hello. Good night. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Instituto Cervantes, to put the show. And I'm going to book my alarm, but because I don't have any writing, so maybe I need to control myself in somehow. Yeah, so I'm going to, let me see, aquí. Calculadora, no. Bueno, no sé, si alguien me avisa si me voy pasando porque no encuentro ahora. Okay, so I'm going to be focused in my project here at the beginning and also the process, because for me the processing is the most important part of this project. One of the most important parts. So the context is like all my projects are. Let me see. Okay, all my projects are based in my personal instinct. So now the most important is I'm having a travel inside, so I'm in a biological change. And every time I get lost, I have to go back and see my roots. I have to go back and connect with my ancestors, because it's the only way I can have to keep going to the front. So in that moment, in that project, what I did was like, it's something related also with the rituals. So one of the rituals important to me was the mummification. I don't know if you know, like in Canary Island, we will mummify. And also the mummification, the chronics say, like was woman mummify woman and men mummify men, no? To me, this one, and also we have this, this one also is, I'm talking about this process, the metamorphosis moment that I'm having at the moment. So all of this is my inspiration and why in transition is coming alive. So this is my conceptual project. I think I prefer move myself. So can I have like a microphone? Yeah, because I need to see this. So, okay, in transitional was my personal transformation, my biological moment, and personal fight. So I have in my background, like I've been working in performance, so with my body as a channel, and in another part is la endurance. O sea, put myself in an extreme situation where I can't test myself who I am. So this is one part of the project, and the inspiration from my ancestor was the mummification, and to what I felt in the process during that mummification we are going to see was something like I couldn't express with words. Words was too tight, too limit. So I need to go to some communication like go through the mountains, go something like feel the freedom of the feeling that I was inside of me when I did that process. And the other part is like the volcanoes, the island, what happened like with our islands, the volcanoes come, explode, and we need to again, like start again, but we start with the ashes, no, and the ashes are also the best to fertilize something. So all of these elements are part of the project. So the first part of the process, as I told you, was like to find woman to bring this ancestral information to the contemporary way, no, to explore and experiment this. So what I did was like with silicone. I was in the same position almost 3 hours, and it was so difficult, the experience. It was a lot of hurt. Like at the beginning, I was something like, I start to control myself, and I passed through, even when you have these moments when you have struggling, also you can connect with all this information or is in your ADN, no? Like the information about your ancestors. And also I have these two all in my project also we have as a Canary Island, we have the colonized and the colonizers, no? We have in our blood this, no? And all the time are struggling with this information, like is a different one. You can see the modeling, like take a lot of time to put this project alive, but all the ritual to bring that body, and also the body was with resin, and I want to do it with resin because it also something the same with the sound. It's something about ephemeral, like something like is something related with the material. Like I really think works very much with my concept. Yeah, and also yes, as I say, they have all the process be that long, bring a lot of time to understand a lot of things and help me to cross this moment, this biological moment. So all the struggling and all the what I live in these 3 hours was I put in like a poem. But as I told you, I couldn't do it with words, because words also have something about gender, something about creative for the human. So the whistle was something like, I'm going to put like a little bit of the process, only 1 minute, but I think it's very important if you can get in also to how I learned these languages.
No, así no. María. Ah. Piedra poca. Marca en el cuerpo.
No, marca y sol en el cuerpo.
Marca y sol en el cuerpo.
Sí. Trying also to be with different type of people who teach me, because and also the elder people on the island, they keep having this language. They still.
Y de ver una gomera más
aquí en La Gomera, que se quede con el silbo.
And ask for permission to bring this language to New York, for example, no? Because also like to respect, this is some ancestral information.
Que tengas en tu familia y saques esa herencia y la tengas en tu cuerpo y la lleves para cualquier parte del mundo.
Cuerpo que dejo. No, otra vez. Se eleva. Luego, abrir, soltar, respirar. Otra vez. De la cueva.
Sí, bien.
Las dos. Una, dos.
Claro.
¿Lo puedo decir?
Claro. Me mandó al carajo. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué me mandó al carajo? Dime.
Pero yo te vi,
Vete pa'l carajo.
Yo te vi permiso.
Harta de mí.
Claro.
O sea, ya no podía más. Sí. Bueno, ahora...
Pues ya estoy cansada ya.
Oye, ¿pero cómo salió?
Bien. A mí bien.
¿Qué nota me das?
Un 10.
¿En serio?
En serio.
¿Un 10?
Un 10 te doy.
¡Ah! ¿Un 10?
Un 10.
Well, it was so difficult to understand and to get there, but at the end, I'm going to put only a little bit, only like. Bueno, dura 5 minutos, no lo voy a poner ahora todo, pero un poco para que entiendan el significado, el silbo y su significado. Y bueno, otra cosa era importante era el eco de que ese sonido... Ah, sorry, in English, sorry. I'm sorry. Another thing is like the lighting. You know, like the lighting was very important to me because the echo, you know, like also the lighting is the body with the echo, and it's like this idea also, again, the duality, like go to the earth or coming through the earth, no? It's something like also in all the time behind this duality. Okay, and I want to talk a little bit about my projects. All my projects talk about identity, territory, and sexuality. And I've been exploring also in my ancestors for many years. So I want to show you. Another project, like for example, Monumenta. Monumenta was. We don't need the sound now. So Monumenta was are 9 sculptures. Like in the island Tenerife, we have we know. Okay, yeah, okay. In the islands, we have this idea. We don't need the sound. We have the representation of men as our ancestors, but we don't have any representation of women. So what I did again, like I channeled this 9 women who was like 9 women who represented the 9 territory was before to be colonized the island. With each of them with a very like I was working with the museum anthropological museum, you know, like with the legends, with the artisans, with the people who transfer the information to bring that let's say. I don't want to say. I'm going to say Monumenta because I don't want to say a queen or whatever. Let's like to bring visibility to the ancestor woman, to the people, because if we don't have any representation, we still with no information about our woman. And also we know through, for example, we know through the I don't know how to say, we know through the information about the bodies, like for example, women were also in the like guerrillas, no? Or also we have, for example, like, bueno, sorry, I don't know how to say, like they were in the, ¿cómo se dice guerrillas? Yeah, warrior, exactly. For example, or do other, have another type of representation that is not be the same as always, like the woman being a secondary paper in the society. Sí. Bueno, eso. So another, talking about, again, about this one, if you put a little bit of some, going again to this, put my body in extreme situation, go again to understand who I am. So this one are video works, for example. And also this, all of this brings again of the struggling of our ancestors with the elements and the sound. Are also the bucios, are like stones, are like cuernos. Always being inspired by all my culture. And this one, because we were talking before, and this one was the project before in transition was Parto. And Parto also talk about this pressure of the woman, like to be a mother, and this patriarchal idea of what we have to do. So this one was an installation in the El Centro de Arte Santa Mónica, en Santa Mónica, Barcelona.
Tenemos un bebé, sin compromiso. Dejemos las cosas claras. Le he pedido que venga cuando estoy en fecha. Ahora mismo, lo único que me interesa es follar. Si tienes un hijo, tu carrera es termina. Me gustan tres. Para mí es la prioridad. Llevamos varios meses intentando. Tengo instinto animal. Volví a cambiar de opinión. Tengo unas ganas tremendas de tener una polla dentro. Mi cuerpo está listo. ¿Para qué viene? Va. Lo voy a intentar. Voy a intentar en una dirección y mi cuerpo no ve. Se lo digo a tener.
So in this channel was like for the viewers it was like this information things 30 from my I take this information from my diaries things 35 to 34 where I have this controversial information like I want to be a mother, I'm not, what happened with, and all of this, all you have to get in, you have to go, and in from my part, I was the mother of 14,000 people who get in, so I'm a very fertile woman. And it's in the other side, for the viewer, like they go back again and they can be who they want in this new life. So, yeah. So this is my presentation.
Well, thank you so much. It was so interesting to see the works of these artists and how they have come to the works that we're looking at in this exhibition. Maybe we should open up the floor for some questions, comments. Yes, over there maybe.
Yeah, to me, for example, now I see like this is the body that I left behind, something like I can see from my outside, from an outside perspective, you know, like when the body of work is there, the same as parto, for example, like it's finished the process. So you asking this? Oh yeah, okay. Like, you know, it's like I it's like now I understand totally where I was, and now it's like, okay, I did it, you know, like it's moving inside of me. It's like, what is the next? Any more questions?
Thank you for that amazing presentation. I mean, everybody's presentation was just so different, but really, really beautiful. I have a question for the curator. How did you bring these three amazing artists together?
Well, I didn't curate the show.
Oh, sorry, you wrote the text.
Yes, but actually it's a good question. How did the artists come up with this exhibition?
That's a great question, and I'm going to say something, and I pass the microphone to everybody to say something about this. I have to say that this starts with friendship, and originally Anna and I have been friends for so many years. Then I met Yapci, and it was an immediate necessity to introduce her with Anna. As my ambassador in New York when I moved to Hudson Valley. And Yapci had the brilliant idea to come to the Instituto Cervantes and ask for the possibility of having an exhibition here. The Instituto Cervantes said, well, it's better if you put a project together, or if there's a curator with a group project, not necessarily an individual project. And they mentioned that Anna had a project here, and how their both projects had something, a link, something similar, or a thread that was that could be visible within the works of both of them, and it was an immediate triad dialogue of the three friends from countries that were apparently separate, but joined by women, joined by ancient civilizations, and the common thread of our own experiences as immigrants, or our own experiences as women, looking for that connection with our past. So that's how the project came together. And I think it was very revealing for all of us how interconnected things are. In this case, since they both were doing video installation, I decided to go into just painting and sculpture, as I do also video installation. But each one brought to the table a fantastic expression that for me, it's impressive, because at the end, it seems that it comes from the same voice. What do you have to say, Anna?
No, it's. I have the same feeling that we are so interconnected, even though we're coming from different countries, but the connection is there, and when we presented to each other what we wanted to put in the exhibit, it was there. It was obvious, and especially when we put the installation here, it was like everything. I think it was so meant to be. Not only meant to be, but yeah. I think that the fact that the three of us got to know each other was a special start. So yeah, the rest is history.
And we're very thankful that Emireth came along and with a completely outside perspective, however, sharing also the root of being a woman immigrant from a country that is deeply rooted in their ancient civilizations and pre-Hispanic culture, had something to say. So we're hoping that this exhibition grows and travels.
Yapci, you want to add something? No, I think you already said. Thank you. Yeah, this is how it happened.
Yeah. I have a question about.
Excuse me.
Okay. I have a question about the portion of your work where you were doing the whistling with the. I must have missed it, but was it a actual language that people spoke, or was it?
Yeah, still is being a language in the island is in La Gomera. So we still having this communication through the mountains because it's so difficult to. You do like travel like 4-5 kilometers. So it's like. For example, they use for normal things. No, but right now. It's like the government is pushing very much. So in the schools, the kids need to learn twice a week, and also you can read whatever you want and you can say whatever you want. It's more change, but these ones, that people is the ancients. Now the oldest one, like Agrispina is like the oldest woman, and they are more because now also to learn is more like how to say, you have like a more academic way, let's say, in somehow, like to understand to each other more. And Agrispina is more like salvaje, no, wild. She's very like, you have to be very more. But yeah, we still having this communication. Yeah, it's incredible. And go there, because I was trying to do it I'm from Tenerife, and this is from La Gomera. I do have aunts from La Gomera. That's why I have to go there to learn the language. So and do it through the mountains is something like incredible. When you listen to someone and you understand, it's like wow.
Does it come from birds and animals and tree sounds? How did it emerge?
Well, I guess it was more a surviving way to come, because it's like like it's very like that to go to one part to another part to say something or to talk with your family or to it's a lot of waste time. So I guess it was more yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Any more questions?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment, because I'm really impressed with this, with all three of you and your art and the commonality. You're all very different, and you have a unique vision and voice and trajectory. However, the commonality really struck me of taking what is ancient, what you were born into, your history, and finding your own identity in the present, and then moving towards some transcendent vision, which kind of points to the future or beyond, which many of you have. And I just thought it was fascinating seeing how each one of you personalized it, but also created archetypes that went way beyond the personal and transcendence in each one. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel, for your comment. It's really incredible. Probably it's for you to grab the three of us and eventually write something of the depths of what make us create. No, thank you. For me, it's also incredibly surprising how, it was a little bit of a complicated trajectory to put together the show in between distance and in between logistics and I think all of us and Emireth as well, we're incredibly surprised and fascinated with the result because none of us envisioned originally the incredible fusion that the works were going to have and the narrative that it was going to be moving around and connecting each specific works. And when it started, for instance, Anna didn't know that she was going to make the translucent hands, as well as Yapci didn't know that she was going to make this translucent body, and how suddenly it was all interconnected, and how the luminosity of these pending beautiful hands and connected with the body, and then the body with the legs, and everything was in an incredible, dynamic, profound connection, that it was as if all these pieces had like a whole world of women within, trying to exude and expel their voices.
It's funny because while you guys were talking, I saw the exhibition upstairs. Thank you for the generosity of sharing your stories. But one of the things that I got by looking at the exhibition and listening to you guys and then hearing your lovely comments is like it's like a diasporic, transcendental communication of like femininity. You guys are born in different places, dealing with femininity in a certain way, but it's seamless. So it's like people from different tribes of a certain time having the same experiences. Because even though each one of you guys have a very unique hand, the works upstairs seem seamless. Like, and I don't even know how that is, because I've seen you guys give a presentation of your works individually, and I see each and every one of you. But upstairs, the flow is something special. I just want to say that. And there's something happening, like in terms of this almost, like I said, transcendental communication of femininity in a way.
There's one more question there.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, everybody. I want to ask to all of you, what is the most difficult thing in the process of each one in one of your artworks that you show? Like in the case of Erika with the wood, with working maybe like the more difficult part of that, like the more difficult part in the process of you, maybe with the materials, like maybe make change some decisions at the end, or for Erika also, like, or for Anna, like in the process, what happened with the expectations and with the concepts, like what is the more difficult part of that in each?
Well, for me, and I think there's a link in terms of, at least with Yapci, for me, more than the technical difficulties, which were not so difficult by the moment that I decided what to do for the exhibition, was before that, when we started envisioning the exhibition, I was in a very profound transition in my personal life as a woman, as a middle-aged woman, and going through a complete creative blockage, that nothing was emerging, absolutely nothing. And there's someone here on the audience, Zoe. Thank you so much, because she was incredibly influential for me to unblock the creative process through techniques and through materials. And so for me was more the emotional, personal, than the actual technicalities. The technicalities obviously are complex in terms of materials, blending the materials seamlessly. But yeah, it was more of a personal situation. What about you, Ana?
Well, I like to produce actually my pieces in Peru. So distance for me is one of the confrontation, no, the difficulties actually, and once I got into the space of when to do it and organized myself and coordinated with a group of people in Peru. Well, I just went there and blocked, a certain amount of time, and I was dedicated to it. So it's when I do that is the moment of joy actually, because creation is the most fantastic thing that anybody can experience. So it started with doing the wardrobe for the model, and the idea of is a skirt that resembles a mountain. Which in the Andes is very important because the mountains are deities. And so to go every day to different markets outside the city, like, waking up at 6 in the morning, that kind of thing, which is not my time. So, and going and checking all the plants, all the needed plants, because it's not regular plants what was put there. It's medicinal plants mostly, because it's not a decorative wardrobe. And the peto that was done, that we did, it was from coca leaves. And so everything was the makeup was rehearsed before the shooting day, and but I think that something beautiful that I've experienced is that when I work in groups, with a crew, and the motif is history, at least in Peru, it's like energy opens up and things happen. So it's really like doing magic. So so my experience, besides taking the plane and and waking up at 6 in the morning, it was really a great experience. Yeah.
I think this is the most difficult project I never did. I have to say, I think it was because I confront I was myself, like very was like dealing with all who I am. I'm dealing with something of myself I have to leave behind. So in that moment so all the process, each part, like being behind of this material for 3 hours in that was so super painful. Like learn and trying to understand the language was so difficult. I felt some days like block. I'm not going to learn this, never ever. You know, like this one. And you know, like even the lighting, like bring the word here. You know, like everything was like, come on, what happened with that? It was all the time with this project. It wasn't. You know, like and my feeling is because when you need to cross this moment in your life, until you cross, it's like difficulties, and then, no? And I think this is my feeling inside. Like I struggle a lot and I don't think I'm going to do anything anymore with this material, you know, because it's only like to do that was every 3 hours, put the resin, sleep, wake up, like lines like this, you know, it's so difficult. Only one body, like this side was like something like every time the alarm like was like again. I'm like, no, what I'm doing, I don't know, you know, was very like for something. You say for some reason you have to understand it. This is for something. You want to do that. This, yeah, no, was in this all the time, no, and also the time because when you feel like this project. You know, wasn't like, of course I could put another project here, but I want to do something for here, and I when I have some input inside, I can stop. You know, it's something like go, you know, like this. So this is a project like, yeah. So now I'm happy it's there, and it's done.
I think that we all have done the transformation with you.
Every time you call me, I'm like, I can't.
O sea, yeah, I'm so glad that on my side it was, you know, more chill. So I was ready to receive, you know, all. No, it's been incredible.
Yeah. I want to say thank you with a huge capital letter to the Instituto Cervantes for having coped with all the uncertainties, all the process that was definitely not easy and complex. So thank you for giving us the space. And oh, there's another question. But thank you, Instituto Cervantes. Thank you very, very much.
Hola, ¿cómo están? My 9-year-old son wants to ask a question.
Since when are you guys working in a group?
He asked me when was the first time you guys did something together. Like as that magic moment when you start.
Well, this is the very first time, and I hope that it's not going to be the first and last. Actually, I don't know, Yapci and Anna, what do you feel right now? I'm shocked. With the exhibition gave me a first shock of magic. This presentation gave me a humongous wide eye-opener sensation of this has to keep on going, this has to move around, and just your opinions, your comments, and an Emireth introduction was like a confirmation of what we have created here.
One more question here.
Thank you. Gracias. Hi. I just want to say thank you to the three of us. Of you. Of you. I'm an artist as well. That's, you know, that's why. Thank you for sharing your processes, and I gotta say that the the way you were sharing with so much confidence. And, I know the road of creating is difficult, but it was inspiring the way you share it, very straightforward and like, this is me, and this is my process. So I gotta say that was inspiring. And you are three badasses. Yes. And then, well, I'm from the same island, so I gotta thank you for bringing all the sounds and the volcanoes and our ancestors. And I want to ask you as well, like, I don't know how to formulate the question, so I don't know. I wish I could. Yeah. It's something, because it's something like, about the Guanches, the indigenous people of the Canary Islands. The Spaniards, before they came to America, they did like a dress rehearsal in the Canary Islands and killed everyone, and
500 years of African culture and background and 500 of...
Yes. So I want to ask you, what is, because I feel connected as well to that ancestors, and I want to ask you about that fascination that we have.
I think in somehow, in my family all the time is very connected with that, and like I have this from them, like I'm being in the nature, connected with all this information, with the music, all of that. So, and also it's something like coming. It's like I guess you have the same feeling. It's something like you cannot say. It's something like you feel totally, because it's as I told you, we have. I trust in this information, like it's unconscious. So and we have a very strong feeling, like the people in the island is super pro of this. Don't look behind. We are all the time trying to bring this information to the front. And as I say, in my case, every time I get lost, it's so many times. Well, no, no. But in life, I need to look there, and see my past and understand also, my ancestor and do this type of rituals, to cross this moment. We have also, as a woman, for example, I didn't show Red Hot, but it's another project like I did, and also was inspired. I did with my menstrual blood, so was before the 40s. So I guess Parto was naturally come up after Red Hot as a woman, all these feelings. So also our ancestors, but I'm like, of course, we have, of the information we have is like legends or people who say things, or the chronicas, or the information of the archaeological rest, no? But in that case, also we know, like, the woman go and clean the woman when they have the period to be fertile for the next cycle. So I'm all the time, every time I'm looking from outside, I have to get inside again to see the world, and all this go to the ancestor, give me roots and keep going. And I think this is what we have a little bit, no? If you want to be honest and with where you come from and the identity, and this is something like each of us, no? You have to go to each of us to be more to understand who you are.
More questions, comments? No?
Maybe we can follow now with the pisco that we have upstairs, with an informal, casual talk with you. Is it okay for you? All right. Thank you for this amazing panel, and please follow us because we will have more activities related to the project that will be here with us until January 15. Thank you very much.